It has been a very long time since we have done one of these. Welcome back to AO Sports Corner with my man Octavio Sequeira. My man, it's been such a long time. How are you, man?
Good man, good man. It's good to be back. It's good to do this, the thing that we love, of course. And yeah, you're right. It's been such a long time, but it's been crazy. Not gonna lie, it's been crazy. I
Yeah,
was watching the introduction and all the, well, not introduction, but all the video, the intro. It was fantastic. Just to like a bunch of memories over the course of I don't know what, like 2 years now.
it's been 2 years, man.
It's
It's
been
been
3 years, man. Well, yeah, it started all like just a happy conversation. We're gonna keep it that way. We're gonna keep it that way.
Yeah, man. And make sure to everyone who's watching, because today we finally are able to be on Twitter after a while. We're finally be able to live stream on Twitter, open a new open to new people watching this. So,
Hmm.
for the new ones, my name's Kevin. This is my man Octavio, the co-host of these live streams, and we're bringing you guys a lot today. We have a lot to talk about. It's been a while, so we're gonna start with the World Series. What have been your thoughts? Houston versus the Atlanta Braves. Game 3 is supposed to be played tonight after many rain delays and many
Yeah.
things that have been talked about on that end.
No, well, I think it's gonna be the first time that Dusty Baker finally gets his reign as a manager. I don't think that actually I was surprised on the first game. Honestly, there's always one game, right? There's always one game that you uh, kind of like it's not shocking because it's not shocking. I mean, the Braves have all the credit and they deserve all the credit in the world just for being here. I mean, they beat the Dodgers and they won the division and they overcame so many injuries to be where they are right now. But honestly, between you and me, there's no competition, man. The Astros is so superior. They're so much better than the Braves. I thought honestly, this was going to be a fast series, like a quick series. Astros winning everything on four. Um, After the Braves won the first game, I was like I said, I was a little bit surprised, not shocked because they deserve the credit. But I don't see how the Astros are gonna be I mean, three more games. I don't see them beating I'm sorry, the Braves beating the Astros in three more games. Just don't see that happen. And yeah, you might say, well, this Astros team, they don't have Verlander, they don't have Garrett Cole, but you know what? They have the same star power when it comes to hitting. Michael Brantley has been fantastic. Altuve has been fantastic. Carlos Correa has been fantastic. Correa is like playing like as a farewell. Maybe he wants to leave as a champion, and he's playing like it. To me, he's the most important player as of now in this in this situation when it comes when clutch situation because you got to remember Altuve didn't have a good series against the Red Sox, but it was a total team effort. And Altuve, yes, he hit a that amazing home run in four, game four to tie the game 2-2. And after that, the Astros took over. And yes, it was Altuve, but Altuve didn't have a good series according to his own standards. So you saw Correa, you saw Valdez, Framber Valdez, you saw Bregman, you saw Julieski Uriel, you saw Maya. I'm sorry, Jordan Alvarez. It's a total team effort. And yes, the Braves have Freeman and Swenson, but you saw what happened with Fried. Fried was supposed to be the big guy Fried was supposed to secure that game too, and he didn't look like an ace. He got murdered. He got smashed by the super powerful offensive lineup of the Astros. So I want to be wrong. Honestly, I want to be wrong. I want to see a 7 game series, but I think this will be over in five. Honestly.
I really don't know who's going to win this series. It's really hard to say because on one side, I want to see Dusty Baker get that World Series ring that he very much deserves.
Hmm.
And on the other side, I hate the Braves because they're in the same division as the Marlins, but they have
Yeah.
Freddie Freeman who's been through it all with that team. He really does deserve it. And there are some former Marlins, obviously Adam Duvall
Hmm.
for the Braves, and then you have Yimi Garcia who wasn't too good for the Marlins. You have Ryan Stanek, but I think it could go 5, 6 games at most. I do think Houston is going to take it at the end of the day just because I think they have the better pitching. Charlie Morton just went down for
Hmm.
this season, even though they don't have Lance McCullers either. But I think Houston, at the end of the day, has in a way more depth pitching wise.
Yeah.
Although Atlanta does have a lot more depth when it comes to position players. They have Jock Peterson, they have Eddie Rosario, Jorge Soler. So
Hmm.
you just look at it, and I think that's when it comes to who's going to take it at the end of the day.
Yeah, obviously, and it's about talent. It's about talent. Name by name, you got to give it to the Astros. I mean, the edge. The Astros have the edge, and they've been playing fantastically well. Hey, I've been on the other side of the road. I've been one of the biggest critics of the Astros. I think the
Yeah.
2017 World Series is still stained. Is stained. I mean, but I never said that they weren't talented. The thing that bothered me the most was the fact that they didn't need to do that. They were so talented, and they have improved that. They have proved that they're so talented that they didn't need to go through all this scandal and stealing signs, all that. They didn't need to do that. They did not need to do that. But they went, they did it, whatever. And that is what I said in the past, and I continue to say it. 2017, and as a matter of fact, I even go beyond that. Altuve has 22 home runs in the postseason. I don't count the 2017. I don't. Obviously, he's still playing. He's going to break all those records in the postseason when it comes to home run. I think he eventually will stand tall and like in the first place, top of the mountain. But I don't count 2017. I don't. I don't. However, that doesn't mean that the team is not good because I never said that. The team is probably the best team in the league as of now, and and has been the best team in the American League. Even though everybody wants to say the race, even though everybody wants to talk about the money ball, the Astros have won five straight, or have been in the ALCS 5 straight years. That's dynasty in the American League without winning the championship, but still, you can say that's a dynasty in the American League. So every team knows that in order to reach the World Series, at least for the last 5 years, they have to be the Astros. And you got to give all the credit in the world to them because they deserve it. And no matter now what happens in 2017, there's still suspicious on 2019. But hey, that's not that would be unfair. Even though I don't believe uh, what Tuba said with the wife and not taking the shirt because of the wife. That was just ridiculous. But the thing is that what has been proven was what happened in 2017. That's been proven. So, but other than that, 2018 they went to the ALCS. They lost against the Red Sox. 2020 they went and lost against the Rays, but they've been there, and now they're in the World Series. They went to the World Series in 2019 and lost to the Nationals. So they're an amazing team. They're an amazing team. They deserve to be where they are, and honestly, I don't think they're gonna let this one slide. I don't think they're gonna let this World Series just to escape. I don't see that happen.
Yeah, and they do have all the pieces to make that happen. I mean, you
Yeah.
saw it throughout the regular season, and they beat some really good teams. The
Hmm.
Boston Red Sox,
Hmm.
who really just surprised everyone. Then you also have the Tampa Bay Rays, who somehow always make it happen. So, the only real other thing I want to touch up on the MLB is that the former athletics manager signed now with the San Diego Padres. So, what are your
Yeah,
thoughts on that,
that was
Dom?
surprising.
I was surprised when I saw it
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised too because there were many reports indicating that Ozzy Guillem might be the man, and of course in the Hispanic community that was a huge news. I mean, we all want to see Ozzy going back to a dugout and managing again in the Major League Baseball. I think he deserves to go back. But I mean, listen, I don't know what direction the Padres want to go now because you got to remember the Melvin is kind of like a he is some sort of a good I'm sorry, old and new school, so it's kind of like a
Yeah.
hybrid. So I don't know what the direction will be. I don't know because you got to remember that they're a very they're not young, but they're not old either. They have player with experience. Where they are still young, but they have a lot of experience. Manny Machado, Eric Hosmer, those guys are still young. They're probably in their prime, but they're still young. They still have all this experience. Hosmer won the World Series. Machado has been an All Star. Tatis is the face of baseball probably. So they have that, and of course the starting pitcher. I mean, Clevenger might be back next year. Snell is back. I don't know what the acquisitions will be. I don't know how they're going to approach the off season. But having Melvin there will tell us a lot, and will tell us a lot because Melvin, in that sense, is the kind of manager who wants to choose his own players. and that's going to be interesting to see how he can implement that in the Padres organization. JC Tingler, it was I don't want to be disrespectful, but I never obviously when you talk about the Padres, you never talk about JC Tingler. You don't even talk.
Yeah.
There were people who didn't even know his name. They didn't even know his name. So it's gonna be interesting. I think it's a different direction. I think it's gonna be more close. It was gonna be closer to the old school, but at the same time keeping up this new analytics focus. So it's gonna be fantastic. However, I don't see them as a top team in that division. Of course, I think the Dodgers and the Giants now playing baseball without having the big names. Although the Giants, I think we're gonna start seeing the window closing. I think this was like probably like the last resource. Like this was the last good season for the Giants, in my opinion, in a while. Why am I saying this? Bunch of veterans, they were playing with their hearts out, and but they didn't have an ace like they did back in the 2020 in the 2010s. They did not have. I mean, they still have Buster Posey and the core with Crawford, Belt. Longoria came there and he was good for them. And that's the thing. There's a bunch of veterans. So I think the Padres might have a chance as a wild card, but I don't see the Padres winning the division with the Dodgers there, especially with the Dodgers now. They need to be aggressive. Although, even if they're not aggressive in the offseason, they have Trey Turner and they have AJ Pollock, so the infield is pretty much packed. Even if they lose Corey Seagers to the Yankees, which is what has been reported.
I'm a little surprised you mentioned that the Padres window, not the Padres, the Giants window is closing, because I would say more or less it's kind of opening now, because now they're going to be enticed to make more moves to bring in guys. I mean, Castellanos is on the free agent market. They're going to want to go after these free agents, kind of like what the Padres did. They started to get a lot of wins and they started to bring in more big pieces.
You know what?
Because
that would be interesting. I don't see it happening, but your point is completely valid, because after a season like this, they might feel inspired to do so. So yeah, I would agree with that, but I still don't see it happening. You know why? Because I think, and I hate this word, but I think they're gonna go to the famous rebuild. But it's like you're saying, probably in this free agency, the thing is that the big names are shortstops, and they don't need shortstops. They have Crawford. Unless they want to convince Carlos Correa to play third base, which is what the Mets are hoping to do. So I don't know, but yeah, that's a very good point, Kevin. I have to give it to you. Even though I don't see it happening, it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense.
Yeah, and with the Bob Melvin, I was a little surprised that he actually left Oakland to go to this Padres team. But now you look at it,
he wants to win.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense too, because he's coming from a small market that doesn't spend much money, uses that Moneyball mentality, to the Padres, which they're not scared to spend the money, because we've seen it. They re-signed Tatis, they got Manny Machado, they got Blake Snell, they got all these guys together. Bob Melvin's gonna want more, and they got Yu Darvish too. I can't forget that name either. Yeah. Melvin's gonna want all these guys, and he's gonna use them as much as he can. I think this is a really good situation for Bob Melvin. And I think we're going to enter now the MLS, which is something I really did want to get to with you today. And I guess the breaking news, which is Federico Higuaín retiring. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that news? And what do you think this means for Inter Miami and the MLS?
Well, from Inter Miami means that they get to see, and they gave an opportunity to a legend in MLS, because Federico Higuaín is a legend in the MLS, especially with Columbus Crew. But I think Inter Miami will go down the history as the team who allowed Federico Higuaín to achieve the dream of playing with his brother, with Gonzalo, and that was beautiful. That was beautiful to watch. I was actually working in a video. I was putting up a video for our Spanish website, MLS. You can follow it on Twitter, MLS Español, and the video is there. It's beautiful how, I always love, but at the same time I hate farewells when it comes to sports and when it comes to soccer, particularly in soccer. Because many people talk about how much money these players make, and how actors they are, how can they act on the pitch, and how they say, well, they're not real athletes because you can touch them, because they break for everything, they cry, they protest. But man, when it comes to time to say goodbye, you don't see that. You see a guy like Federico Higuaín, probably not the biggest name in the sport, but a huge name in MLS. He also played for the big country, I mean, big club, Club America in Mexico. So in Argentina, he played for River Plate, which is probably the second or the first. Uh, to me, is the first one. I mean, Boca Juniors will say otherwise, but it's like it's Boca or River Plate, so at the top of Argentinian league. Again, for me, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm a River fan. My point is, for Miami, I think it was a very class act. I love it. I love the way they did it. They brought all the teammates. Of course, he addressed them. He addressed his brother Gonzalo, who went to Europe and had a prolific career, playing for the best clubs in Europe, Real Madrid, Juventus, just to name a few. Napoli, another one. But I love the fact that he had the chance to choose how he wanted to go out of the game. And that's a family of football, well, soccer in this case. That's a family. That's a family. I mean, his dad Jorge played, Gonzalo played, Fede played. So it was a very emotional day. Inter Miami, they're still trying to make the playoffs. There's a little bit of hope. There's yeah, but it's coming down to the final stretch, and they have to win. Of course, they still pending a few results. I don't think they're gonna make the playoff, honestly. But today wasn't about that. Today wasn't more. It was more about pay tribute to a guy who deserves it, and I love to see that.
Yeah, and he could still play, I guess, another year or two because the season he had this season at least, he looked pretty good for the team. I
Yeah.
mean, getting those the assist to Gonzalo mainly because that's the one he mainly got him to.
Hmm.
He got himself a couple goals this year. He looked quick and agile. He could have played another season or
Yeah.
two for Inter Miami. But I guess now it's just time for him to die down. And do you think this means maybe Gonzalo retires as well? Because
Well,
there's been that rumor.
yeah, he has one more year in the contract. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting off season for Miami. I will say here right now, I don't have this information certified, but I think James Rodriguez will be like the big name for Inter Miami in this summer. Well, not the summer. I'm sorry. Now in the
Winter.
off season, the summer. I mean, soccer and all the world. The summer is the big market. It's when the players they do all actually
Yeah.
there's a summer window transfer. However, in MLS, I think James Rodriguez will be the big name for Miami. And with all these rumors about Pizarro might leaving, which by the way they're not true yet, but of course there's a lot of
Okay.
rumors saying that they're not true yet. I think James Rodriguez will fit perfectly. I think Gonzalo will stay one more season, and I don't know about Phil Neville staying. I mean, he's like David Beckham's best friend, but David has been very professional when it comes to business. Um, so who knows? I think maybe James will bring that missing piece. Will be that missing piece. But Miami has to win, man. Miami, they sometimes they score 6 goals and they look like the team to beat, and then they lose by not scoring anything, by not getting to the zone, by,
Yeah.
by losing balls, by not connecting passes. It's like really weird the way they've been playing so far.
Yeah, I agree. It's been such an up and down for this team this season
Yeah.
because at some point they looked like one of the best teams in the league.
Mhm.
No one scored on them. They won these games at the last minute, and then they go on a 5-game losing streak where
Yeah.
they just can't score.
And if
And
you see the games, it's like how? How did this happen?
because the team on paper looks really good. I mean,
Mhm.
Higuain, Matuidi, who should go. He has not been
Yeah.
good at all for the team.
Just to give, just to say something about my 3D, the guy
Yeah.
won the World Cup, so it tells you. And who was the guy? Oh, Gonzalo said it in one interview. He said, "Who those people who think that MLS is easy? Take a look at or listen to the names that have come to MLS and they didn't win the championship: Zlatan, Matuidi, Henry, Rooney, Villa. What do he names? Oh, Dos Santos. What else? Gerard, Lampard, Pirlo, bunch of legends, man. Dos Santos not a legend, but all those legends, European legends, and they didn't win anything. The only big name who came to MLS and won the MLS, David Beckham.
Yep.
That's it. That's it. And then you have Matuidi now. And let me tell you, Rooney came here at 31 years old. No, I'm sorry, 32, almost 33. But still, he was younger than LeBron James. And I mean, it wasn't like he came, although, of course, a lot of experience, he was a veteran. It's fine. But if this would be, I mean, if this was a easy league to win, those guys would have won it, and they didn't. So it tells you more about the competition, which I love, and I want to see more teams going in a different direction. Continue to do what Atlanta is doing with the young talent. Continue to do what Sporting Kansas City is doing. Seattle has been in the playoff all the time for the last 12 years. Every time in the playoffs. New England won the Supporter Shield. Supporter Shield, for those that don't know, is a trophy to the best team in the regular season, and they established their new records with 73 points. So it's that's what I want to see. That's the MLS that I want to see. So that's I don't know what's going to be the next for Miami, but definitely I will hope to see James, but also more young talent coming from South America, more new and young talent. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, and staying on the Inter Miami, I mean, what do you think of this playoff chase that they're in right now? And if you could tell the people that are watching what has to happen for the Inter Miami to make the playoffs this season?
Well, basically, if we go to the standings, so Miami they need to win because they're like 6 points behind DC United. DC United is a team that is holding that seventh spot. So in MLS, the first four go straight to the playoffs, and then you have the last three who plays like okay, so it's like how
A
do you call
playing
it in
tournament.
English? Yeah, it's like the play in. So it's the first one, right? So I'm sorry, the first four and the last four. I'm sorry. The thing is that Miami needs to win because they have 38 points.
Yeah,
And in order to reach the 44, they're depending on New York Red Bulls, don't win anymore. Montreal don't win anymore. And Columbus, the defending champions, don't win anymore. So Columbus is 3 points behind. Montreal and New York, the Red Bulls are just 1 point behind DC. So it's very, very unlikely for Miami to make the playoffs. Honestly, 6 points. I gotta check. Let me see in my notes. I have the notes here because Miami has. I think there's 4 more games for Miami. I could be wrong.
there's
Uh,
two more. There's
there's
two.
2 more, so that's 6 points. So they have to win both games, and they're playing NYCFC, which is the last game of Federico Higuain, and then Decision Day. Decision Day, for those that don't know, Decision Day is the last day of the regular season. All the games, all the games are played at the same time, which is going to be Sunday, November 7th. All the games at 3:30 p.m. So there will be no advantage. And oh man, I just saw the schedule. So Inter Miami is playing New England Revolution, which is the best team in the league. But they already in. They are already in. I'm not saying they're going to give away that game. They don't do that. No team does that. But well, it's gonna be tough. I don't see Miami making the playoffs. And they have to win and make the 6 points and try to see and just praying for DC, the Red Bulls, and Montreal and Columbus to not make one more point. DC wins this weekend. DC United wins this weekend. Bye bye Miami. It's just as simple as that. Even because it'll be 6 points to the last week of the season, so it will be impossible for Miami to reach them. So that's it. DC United has to lose. Montreal has to lose. The Red Bulls have to lose. Columbus have to lose, and then Miami have to win the two remaining games in their schedule. So they're not out yet, but I think this week it will be the last contending week for Miami, for Inter Miami.
Yeah, it just seems like impossible at this point. It would have to be a
Yeah,
miracle for Inter Miami to make it, and especially the way they're playing right now, which that Atlanta game wasn't too good. They started off well with the Gonzalo goal. Then after that, they allowed two. And I think something that they should for sure assess is the goalie when it comes to the off season. And
yeah.
what would an off season look like for Inter Miami? Do they go into that rebuilding stage, or do they try to keep it competitive?
They'll try to keep it competitive because it's been just a few pieces. It's just missing new pieces. You don't want to go to rebuild because the fan base is not going to take the rebuild. The fan base wants to make the playoffs. The
Yeah,
fan base, especially Miami. Miami can be a hockey town with the Panthers the way they're playing right now, or it can be a basketball town with the Miami Heat
which we'll
is
get
playing
into
right now.
later.
Yeah, but Unfortunately, it will never be, at least so far, a baseball town because they don't care about the Marlins, and that is because they don't win. But look, last year when the Marlins made the playoffs, everybody was in the Miami bandwagon. Everybody was there. So I don't think you and David Beckham knows this thing. He cannot dare to go on a rebuild in Miami. No way. No, especially after all these years, all these fans waiting for to have a team in Miami. No man, I don't see a rebuild. They're gonna try to keep it competitive, and they're gonna bring a star. Like I said, I think James will be the guy, James Rodriguez. But if not James, who knows? But a big name, I think, is coming to Miami because that's what the fans want, and that's what's gonna keep the interest of the fans and keep people in the seats. It's
Yeah.
not gonna be a rebuild. No way. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, I do agree. They need to get a big name. I mean, obviously we heard about the Messi one a lot.
Yeah.
I talked to you about that one a lot, and there's all of these reports coming out about that. I think it was like the 10-year deal where he played 3 seasons in Inter Miami. I talked to you about that one. Yeah, Inter Miami does have good pieces. I'll tell you. I mean, some that not aren't even known. Um, you have Robbie Robinson, who was the first
Mhm.
pick a couple years ago out of Clemson. He's been pretty good for the Inter Miami this season.
Yeah.
And then you have the he could kick with both legs. I don't know his name right now. He's the one who I'll find his name later. But there's some good names. I mean, Gregor is on that team,
Mhm.
who's been pretty good. I mean, if you want to talk to
No, but
the
even Carranza,
yeah,
Calendar, Chapman. Jay Chapman has experience and he's young, still young. Figal, Gibbs, Gonzalez Perez is like a so. He won. Gonzalez Perez won the championship with
Lewis
them.
Morgan, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, Luis Morgan. Yeah, he can run, dude. He's very fast too, and yeah, as you say, yeah, he can kick the ball with both legs. So yeah, it's good. Lerdam, Macomb, Christian Macomb. We'll see what happens with him, but yeah, Morgan is one of the best players they have, and Robinson too. I think the future is good with those kids, and I think we'll see more of Carranza in the near future. So we'll see that how it's gonna be a factor for Miami coming going forward.
And quickly with the goalie situation, I mean, how would you assess that? Because even though Marshman has been okay, he hasn't been the. I don't think he's gonna be the guy that Inter Miami's gonna
No,
look for.
I don't think so either. I think they will have to go on the trade market because I don't know what's the situation with the free agency with goalies. That's the last thing you know in the MLS. But I think they're gonna have to go trade. They Luis oh my God, his first the first goalie they have. Robles. I mean,
Yeah,
he
Rose.
came. Robles was a legend in the MLS when he signed for Miami, and that didn't work. So I think they will have to go with fresh legs, like a young goalkeeper that can do the work. But it has to have experience at least in the continent, at least in Mexico, at least in Central America. It has to be a guy who plays under pressure and doesn't squint under pressure because they need a guy who can be a guarantee under the I was gonna say the pipes. That's hockey. But there under the post they have to have a guy with experience. But young, I don't think they're gonna go with a veteran goalie.
Okay, and just to end off the MLS, any predictions you want to talk about to us, or bold predictions or takes?
Okay.
About the playoffs in general. Let's keep it at that. Maybe a team that you think will sneak in, or who will win it all, something like that.
To close with MLS.
Yeah, for the MLS.
Oh, I think the finals is going to be New England against Sporting Kansas City. I think so. I think Sporting Kansas City is one of the best teams in MLS. They're very very underrated. They don't get enough appreciation because they're not a sexy market, but they play great. They play fantastic, and I think they're going to be in the finals on the Western Conference. And definitely New England. New England. The coach of the New England Revolution is Bruce Arenas. He won everything with LA Galaxy. He knows the league as the back of his hand. He is the guy that you want to have there. When it comes to MLS, he's Mr. MLS when it comes to coaches. So yeah, I think New England is not a fluke. I don't think New England it was just a team of for the regular season. I know people will say there's a curse because you win the Supporter Shield and then you don't win the championship. Well, guess what? Toronto won everything in 2017. They won the Supporter Shields and they also won the MLS Cup. So yeah, I think New England for sure will be in the finals. I'd be shocked if they don't make the finals. They're playing fantastically well. And on the West, I could have my doubts with Seattle, but no, I go with Sporting Kansas City for sure.
All right, let's move on to the NBA quickly. I mean, what have been your thoughts on this on the start of the season? The Lakers haven't been looking too hot on your side. You know, you're a
Yeah.
Lakers fan, and then well, you're a LeBron fan, but
I'm a LeBron fan. Yeah, I'm a LeBron fan. But I gotta tell you, what I love what I'm seeing from the Eastern Conference because I love to see competition. I don't want to get into the whole Kyrie because
no, I wouldn't.
it'll take a whole show to talk about Kyrie Irving. And by the way, I don't even. It's not something I want to engage. But the thing
Me neither.
with the Eastern Conference is that you see parity. You see what the Bulls are doing. You see the Knicks are being relevant now, and of course, it's like Big Five, right? You talk about Big Five now. It's not just the Nets. It's now the Nets. It's the Heat. It's the Bucks. It might be. I don't know, but it might be. It might be if they continue to like put all the pieces together and they like clicked. I think Boston will be a very fourth team into the contention, and maybe I'm forgetting one team that probably is going to surprise a lot of people, but I just don't see that happening yet. I'm talking about the Toronto Raptors because
Oh,
they're always like okay, the silent, the unsung team, the unsung hero team, like that kind of thing. So I think Miami's gonna be there. I think the Bucks are gonna be there. Of course, the Nets, and if I can give fourth one will be. Um, I don't wanna jump into the bandwagon of the Bulls, but I'll go with Boston before going with the Bulls. You gotta remember, it's just not even the first month. And hey, I saw this picture before. I saw this picture back in 2012. I'm sorry, 2011, when the Bulls had a terrific regular season. Derrick Rose, MVP, and they won the first game against Miami. What happened the second game in that Eastern Conference final? LeBron said, I'm going to guard Derrick Rose. Leave it up to me. Miami won four straight. That
yeah.
was it. So I saw this picture. I saw this picture before. I saw this movie before. I don't gonna jump on the Bulls when get in the Western Conference quickly because I want to hear you too. It's a mystery. It's a mystery who's gonna be that. But I'm gonna tell you something. I think and this may sound as like a copy, but I cannot fathom and cannot process how well the Golden State Warriors are going to be when Clay comes back, if he comes
Oh
back
yeah,
the
for
way he
sure.
plays. I don't see the Lakers beating the Warriors in a 7 game series. Honestly, I don't. I think the Phoenix Suns making the finals last year was an accident. A lot of players got injured. A lot of things had to happen for that. I see them as a semifinal, maybe conference final team, but I don't see it in the finals. Um, Say whatever you want to say about the new blood and Devin Booker. Yes, it's a superstar. He can play, of course. But when it comes to team, you need experience and you need youth and you need players motivated. And I don't think there's any. I mean, I don't think there's a more motivated player in the NBA right now than Steph Curry, and he has everything. He controls the league the way he wants to play, and this is the new league. This is the 3 point shoot. This is the defense. This is the perimeter attack, and this is a fast pace. I see the Warriors making all the way to the finals. Denver might step on the way. Will have something to say. Utah will have something to say. Maybe Portland with Chauncey Billups now as a coach. But honestly, and by the way, the Lakers, they better get together. They better get their stuff together because all the fans are start losing their lunch over them, and it's not gonna be very patient for the fans. And the worst thing about the Lakers is that they're old.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as that. So for the Lakers, would be fantastic if they make it as a 4 or number 4, number 5 seed. That'd be great for them, obviously, because they will go in the postseason, and then LeBron's will turn into playoff mode, and they might win it all. But in the regular season, I don't think we're going to see a dominance of the Lakers during the regular season. I don't see that. I mean, I'll be shocked. I won't see that. I'm not going to see that in the regular season. The Lakers don't have that team to cruise over the regular season. They don't.
Yeah, I agree. Especially how old that team is. I
Yeah,
mean,
they're old. And
we could just name them all too.
you can talk about depth, and you can talk about future Hall of Famers. That's fine, but listen, and the prime, they don't have a player except for Anthony Davis in their prime. Russell Westbrook, maybe, but
No, you could debate that.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go quickly through the East. Brooklyn seems pretty good this year. Miami did clamp them up on defense and they beat them last game, but it's just one game. Obviously, they'll face them 3 more times in this
Yeah.
season. But Miami, I don't know, man. Miami just seems like a really good team this year. And I'm not going to, only because I'm a Miami Heat fan, but the Charlotte Hornets also seem really good. They started off 4-0. They're playing right now against the Miami Heat, actually. So after this live stream, I'll tune into that. Boston, I've never seen the hype around Boston after Kyrie left, after Kemba Walker left, Gordon Hayward. That team just couldn't get it together during the regular season.
Yeah.
I think they made the play-in tournament too. So just give it time too. And they brought back Al Horford. He has the coronavirus now. So
Yeah.
you really look at in Chicago. Chicago looks really good, but it's obviously just the start of the season.
Yeah.
I think things will start clicking in for other teams later.
What's the latest with Zion? Because everyone was talking about Zion, and Zion, is he still playing? Is this like, oh, he hasn't even touched the ball, right?
I don't think he's playing right now.
He's not playing. No, he's not playing. He's out. But I don't know, some sort of rehabs. I don't know. I think I saw some reports that he might start playing contact and physical contact activities this week. But all right.
That's a team I've barely heard of since the start of the season, and they're a pretty good team too when you look at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Eastern Conference from a couple years ago, which was usually the same teams always making the playoffs, it's turned a lot more competitive. Now you could really make the argument from the East and the West that they're very similar because, and we're looking at the West. Minnesota started off the season pretty well. I mean, and D'Lo is clicking now. Karl Anthony Towns. That's a really good team. And the NBA is just a lot more competitive from what it was a couple years ago. Now, players are teaming up. Portland, I don't see Portland really making the playoff.
Yeah. I just say that because Chauncey Billups is a very competitive guy, and he's going to demand the best out of anybody there. And but Portland might be a team that in the middle of the season might be dismantled, and they go to the trade blocks, and they might be, I don't know. Probably Portland will be like the jewel of the trade market, because who knows what's going to happen with CJ McCollum. I don't want to say Dame, even though Dame Lillard, he said that he wants to stay there, that he doesn't want to join any team. But I don't know. You never say never.
Yeah, that's just weird. You know, he's been in the NBA for so long. He deserves to get the ring. He deserves to go in playoffs. The Portland Trailers haven't proven to him that they could build a team around him to make it to the finals. Although they did have that year where they made the conference finals, but obviously you play the Warriors and you're going to get swept. That especially with that team.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can we talk about? The Washington Wizards.
And they got swept, right?
Yeah, they got swept. They
got swept by it was KD Warriors.
Yeah. It was the last year of the Warriors team.
No way. Oh yeah, because KD got injured in the finals.
Yeah,
that's right.
I mean, another team to mention, somehow the Cleveland Cavaliers are 3-2. I guess things are starting to click a little bit for them. That's going to fall pretty quickly because that's how it started last season in the 2020 season. Washington's 4-1. Seems like Spencer Dinwiddie and Bradley Beal duo is clicking over there. I mean, Philly, we could get into that Ben Simmons talk because that's just it's been a drama over there in Philly.
They need to trade him. Obviously, I don't think as long as Ben Simmons is there, they're not gonna make anything. They won't.
And that's what I've been saying. Why just not trade him? The guy doesn't want. He's not gonna play.
Yeah.
We saw he got kicked out of the practice. It doesn't make sense. I mean, if you had to really name a team, what do you think would be the best fit?
Because the Nets, Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, but the thing is, it would be perfect for trading for Kyrie Irving. But the thing is that I don't know if the Sixers are gonna absorb that contract of Kyrie Irving. I don't know, and maybe Kyrie doesn't want to go there. But yeah, the Nets will be a very good destination. I mean, imagine him playing with KD and playing with James, with Harden. So that'd be fantastic. But it's very unlikely because of all the money implied.
Yeah, and you also look at Indiana. I like that fit for the Pacers. He goes in there. You get rid of Miles Turner. I guess you could put Sabonis maybe at the center, and you could stretch the floor a little bit with at least Sabonis because Ben Simmons can't shoot a three.
Sabonis, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that would be a good fit, but I don't know what would be that price because I know Daryl Morey, he asked for a lot. I know they tried to get him into Toronto. They asked for a lot of pieces.
Yeah.
Daryl Morey went, I don't know what he was doing that day, but he went crazy when they started asking him, when he started asking, for other teams an offer for Ben Simmons. And I mean, what's your bold prediction on this season if you had to put one in?
Miami making the finals. That would be my bold prediction. I don't. For sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, if the Bucks did it last year, Miami can do it this year. Obviously, without any hesitation of a doubt. Actually, look, I'm not even kidding. I have it here in the notes because I have Miami right here, and I think that's going to be that's my bold prediction. I think Miami can actually make the NBA Finals. Uh, and on the West, Warriors, and I think the Warriors are going to win it all. I think this year the Warriors are going to go back to the top of the mountain for
They
sure.
have the team. They have the
They
team.
have the team.
Clay,
Well,
and
you got
Clay's
to
Clay.
remember the first time they won the championship was without KD. So
Yeah.
just go back to that year. Just go back to that year. So, and they beat a LeBron James prime LeBron James and that very good Cleveland Cavaliers team. Of course, Kyrie Irving got hurt and Kevin Love got hurt, but still, they beat him in 6 games. So, I think the Warriors they might win. They might win it all, and Miami might make it to the finals. That would be my bold prediction.
Yeah, and you also have to remember Miami is Victor Oladipo, who's injured right now.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
team is extremely deep. I mean, and
Mhm.
they're fighting for something because
That's true.
that first game against Milwaukee, Milwaukee lost by 40 points, I think, to Miami,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm correct. Miami went out there and they just ripped everything they could have done in that playoff series last time, and they did it to Milwaukee in that opening night game. Yeah, if I really had to talk predictions or bold takes, I would say it's gonna end at the top three. It would be Milwaukee, Miami, and then Brooklyn. Just because after I saw what Miami did to Brooklyn, I don't know. Brooklyn doesn't seem too legit to me. I mean, Miami clamped them up completely on defense. I could
Mm-hmm.
say Miami is one of the best defensive teams in the league. You have Jimmy Butler,
Yeah,
Bam Adebayo, who are really good defenders.
yeah,
Bam was even discussed last season as a defensive player of the year,
yeah.
where Jimmy Butler has always been known for his great defense.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Lowry comes into the Miami Heat team very good. PJ Tucker was a big piece of that Milwaukee championship team. And then you have the bench. Markieff Morris has always been known for his defense. Duncan Robinson is not good defensively. Neither is Tyler Hero too much, but those guys I think throughout the season will improve. And then also in the East, I think Charlotte's going to make the playoffs. I mean, you could say all you want, but Charlotte's pretty good. LaMelo Ball, Gordon Hayward, that team really showed off last season. They made the play-in. I think a team that we for sure could talk about more is the Indiana Pacers. They have a good team.
Yeah.
Although it's not talked about after the Miami Heat swept them that bubble. They made the play-in. They couldn't make the playoffs. And I do like what you say about the Warriors that they could win it all because it's true. They have the pieces. The West has gotten a little bit weaker ever since the Warriors dynasty ended because
Yeah.
usually you would say Warriors are going to make the finals. I mean, that's what we always think.
Yeah.
But it's not like that anymore. Or the Warriors of the Kevin Durant times will make it. They have a good team. They have Iguodala back, who was a big part of that team. He knows the system well, so he could just adjust right away.
Yep.
And I know you don't want to talk about the NFL because you don't like it, but I guess we'll talk a little bit about it. And I want to talk about who have been the most surprising and most disappointing teams for you this season.
Oh, wow.
And disappointing.
Disappointing is the Cleveland Browns by far.
Oh, okay.
So by far, that's a team that is built to be 6-1 or at least 5-2, and they're like begging for a playoff spot. That's how disappointed I am with the Browns. Definitely, yeah, you can play, you can put them in injuries and stuff, but they're now going to start facing the division teams. First the Steelers, then the Bengals, and if they play like they've been playing, they suffer to beat a very, very poor Denver team. And it was like they were playing the Chiefs. They lost against the Chiefs. They lost. They scored 40 something points, like almost 50 points, and they still lose the
42.
game. Yeah, 42, and they still lose the game. Come on, bro. You can win anything without that. I mean, what else is gonna take for the Browns? And the most surprising team, the Cardinals, even though they lost against the big man Aaron Rodgers, but the Cardinals have been fantastic. They have been terrific. So I didn't expect to see them undefeated until they lost against Aaron Rodgers, but that was amazing, and they're an amazing good team. I want to say the Titans, but you know what to expect with the Titans, and as long as you have Derrick Henry, I mean, I dare you to find a guy who can stop Derrick Henry. So that's
There's
easy.
not.
And yeah, on a one-on-one,
Aaron Donald maybe, but besides that, no.
I don't even think so, man. But the thing is that on one-on-one it's impossible. And then you can make a case for the defending champs because they're gonna get better, they're gonna get healthier, they're going to just weather the storm for a little bit, and then they're gonna come back strong in the playoff time. So that's it. We're going to. I don't know if we're gonna see them in the Super Bowl, but they're a playoff team. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a playoff team. you can never bet against Tom Brady, and as
No,
long
yeah.
as he's playing, he's gonna have to be there. But yeah, disappointed at the Browns for sure.
Surprising, I'm going to go to Cincinnati Bengals. 5-2, leading the division.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like everything's clicking for
After
that
they
team.
beat the Ravens, yeah, that was a good surprise.
And then you also have the Oakland Raiders, somehow also 5-2, leading that division. Obviously, they've had their little drama with the coach, which I'm
Yeah,
not going to get into, but
yeah,
it's been crazy. And then
yeah.
if I disappointing, Kansas City Chiefs, 3-4.
That's good.
They
Yeah.
made the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes now injured, but
Mm-hmm.
seems like that defense isn't there. And if I also
Yeah.
had to say a disappointing team, which I want to get into, the Miami Dolphins are 1-6
Why do
somehow.
you want to talk about the Dolphins? They're not even
They're worse
relevant.
than the Jets.
Why are you talking about the Dolphins? The Dolphins
Hey,
are playing, bro. Come on, bro. Come on.
they were 10-6 last season. They were riding. They were
Okay,
expecting a
it's
better season.
October 29, 2021. Forget about last season. The Dolphins have been a mess. Are you kidding me right
This
now?
season
Come
they've been a
on.
mess.
Jesus Christ. What happened to Tua? Wasn't he the reincarnation of Tom Brady? What happened with him?
Uh,
I'm sorry, but what happened? I mean, last year you guys sold me this Dolphins teams as the Pro Bowl team of the league. Like they're cruising, they're relevant. What happened? What just happened? You cannot win a division. Listen, you can beat the Patriots or win the division without Tom Brady. Okay, now Tom Brady's gone. Okay, so what happened there? I have no idea. The Jets. Are you freaking kidding me? The Jets? Really? And then, okay, the new boys in town, the new kids on the block, Buffalo Bills. Okay, I give you Josh Allen, but aren't the Dolphins good enough, at least on paper, to fight for a wild card team? At least, I don't know.
well,
It's a
that's what I'm
mess.
saying. They've been disappointing this season
Yeah,
because we expected more from them. I mean,
that's what I'm
Tua
saying.
Tua hasn't been the problem. I'm gonna say now, Tua really hasn't been the problem.
No, I didn't
It's
blame on him. What I was saying is that he was supposed to lead this team to the promised land,
no, yeah.
and he hasn't accomplished that. And I don't think he will. Oh, obviously not this year. I don't know what's going to happen in the offseason, but it's like very, very disappointing what I'm seeing from Miami. And I don't know if I was wrong last year, I'm sorry, when I thought that this team could compete for the years to come.
That defense looked really good too. They had, I think it was 27 games with takeaways in a row. That's over. This defense can't tackle for their lives. They lost to a team that lost 20 straight games in a row in Jacksonville. They had one of the easiest schedules in the league this season, and they've lost 6 straight games in a row. Is it time to pull the plug and make a trade for Aaron Rodgers or Deshaun Watson, Octavio? I mean,
Well,
Deshaun
you can
Watson's a
try.
little bit iffy, but
You
Aaron
can try.
Rodgers, they have the capital to do it.
You can try, but it seems very unlikely. You can try.
Yeah, what do you do to Deshaun Watson though? I mean, I think that's been the biggest topic, especially in the last 2 weeks, because it seems like after every
Give
Dolphins
him
game,
money,
there's a
show him
breaking news.
respect. Give him money, show him respect, and tell him that you love him. That's it. Guy's such a child. I mean, come on. But yeah, he's a great player, great quarterback, and he proved what he can do. And as long as you're surrounding him with a good offensive line, he's going to deliver. I don't think Miami's attractive to him right now for the way the situation that Miami's in right now. But who knows? He might just agree to go there just to test, and then we'll see what happens next year because
Well,
Miami already out of the race for this season.
no, yeah, for sure. But from the reports, it does seem like he wants to go to Miami, only to Miami. I mean,
That'd be
that's
awesome.
what it seems. And supposedly they did have a trade agreed on, but Stephen Ross is just waiting for the allegations to be cleared up on. But
Yeah.
that's not going to happen by November 2nd. So
Mhm.
it seems like this will be happening in the offseason. And obviously, then you start to think the Texans didn't want Tua. They're not interested in him at all. You tried to bring in Washington into the conversation. And this is mainly coming from the Houston side now, from the top reporters in Houston. This is not from the Miami side anymore. So it seems to be coming up to be a little bit more realistic. So, I mean, at this point, do you really make that kind of a trade? Because this guy could
Yeah.
possibly get suspended from the NFL. And Houston is still asking for 3 first-round picks.
Hmm.
I mean, you would have to protect like half of those picks
Yeah.
if you really want to make this kind of a trade, Octavio.
That's true. I agree, my man. I agree. And the last thing I want to say, because I mean, time is like really
Yeah.
tricky right now. It'll be you can't throw away everything for a player, so you got to be careful to what are you going to give away for Sean Watson, even if it's Deshaun Watson, because if Tua is not the only one to blame for the poor season Miami, has, you are not going to solve and sort out this situation with just one play. I don't think you got to be careful with what you're going to give away. So let's see. It's going to be tricky.
And just to end it off, I can name so many positions of need that they need right now. They need a running back. They need an offensive line because that offensive line has been very undisciplined this season. They've had many penalties called on them. The defense, they could get a couple linebackers, and that's exactly where I ended. And I'm going to end it a little bit of a bold take on the season, like possible Super Bowl matchup, playoff matchup. I mean, what would you say there?
Definitely. I'll go with Arizona Cardinals for sure, and Buffalo Bills.
That's a good Super Bowl matchup.
Yeah.
They've been big time.
And they're like, I like the young blood. I like Kyler Murray facing Josh Allen. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be a very offensive Super Bowl. So let's see.
Yeah, man. This is exactly, we're going to end it. Thank you, my man, for being here again.
Thank you.
Let's hope to do this once again. My name is Kevin Barra, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace out.